Lunatic Fringe. I Know You're Out There by J.J. Colgrove. Father, you grew up here and there, while I listened as you told me of stories of living with this relative and then that one. I always found myself wondering if you ever felt as a burdensome guest. Because I felt that way all of my life, and I grew up in a castle. Not only did my father forge a kingdom for me to inherit, he prepared me to rule. I was taught the importance of studying, elocution, diplomacy, and most importantly of all, combat. When it came to the third on that list, my father brought me the finest teacher the world could provide. A 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 4-time world champion, 2-time NCAA champion as a wrestler, 5-time NCAA champion as a coach. To call him just a man feels insulting on my part. That is because he is no mere mortal, so far south from an ordinary civilian. A man by the name of John Smith. Not only did I manage to learn violence and philosophy from this man, I succeeded in getting under his skin, driving him to the point of frustration, leaving him no choice but to slap me on the back of my head. He knew he was training a boy set apart from the others, but he didn't know he was training a prince. Had he known, he would have cut off his own hand himself for committing such treason. Many historians and chroniclers of old would rightly claim that they know more about the legend of Alexander the Great. But there's not one in that bunch that understands him more than me. As far as I'm concerned, I am Alexander. I am Solomon. I am Simba. Though unlike Alexander, I now possess the humility to treasure my privilege. Unlike Solomon, I don't want multiple wives. One is all that I am willing to take on. Unlike Simba, I refuse to wait until after you die to accept my fate. The crown I wear upon my brow was placed there by the hand of the Almighty. And it was my steward, my earthly father, that prepared me to be the kind of ruler that would surrender his crown to no man. When I look back at my childhood and at the hand I was dealt in this life, not only am I well pleased with my absurd fortune, I'm also smug about it. Never before has this world known a more terrible snob than your firstborn son. In truth, if I'm under oath telling the whole story, during my growing pains, this upbringing equipped me with the nasty habit of distributing casual cruelty to innocents, and worse, those I loved the most, and those that loved me the most. When they said the words, I replied, "I don't believe you." When it comes to the matter of cutting ties, my blades are never allowed to gather dust. This upbringing forced me to develop a deep affection for isolation. This upbringing allowed me to become accustomed to being a leader of men, to the point that it is as breathing or walking to me. You know well that I love you. I don't need to tell you that on this particular Father's Day. What I need to tell you on this particular Father's Day is this: you are not who you think you are. I haven't taken my eyes off of you my whole life. So as your heir, second only to God, I decide that I am the utmost authority to speak of who it is that you really are. My first great enemy. The one who the rest of the world bends around.